Join me as I try to avoid the top fitness mistakes that everyone seems to fall for. Let's see if I can make it through without making a single one. You know, when it comes to fitness, we're all guilty of making mistakes that can sabotage our progress. And it's not because we're not trying hard enough. It's because there are so many myths and misinformation out there that can lead us down the wrong path. But today, we're going to talk about the most common fitness mistakes that you might be making, and more importantly, how to avoid them. I've been there too. I've been that person who thought I was doing everything right, only to realize that I was making some serious mistakes that were holding me back. And it's frustrating, right? You're putting in the work, you're putting in the time, but you're not seeing the results you want. That's when you realize that it's time to take a step back, reevaluate, and make some changes. The good news is that once you're aware of these common mistakes, you can start making adjustments and start seeing real progress. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to dive into the most common fitness mistakes, and I'm going to give you some actionable tips on how to avoid them. You might be surprised at how common these mistakes are. Even experienced gym goers can fall into these traps. But the good news is that with a little bit of knowledge and some simple tweaks to your routine, you can start seeing real results. Misinformation in the fitness industry is a major problem. With so many different sources telling us what to do, it can be hard to know what's right and what's wrong. And sometimes, even the most well-meaning advice can be misleading. Take Instagram fitness influencers, for example. They might be showing you a quick fix or a trick that worked for them, but it might not work for you. And that's because everyone's body is different, everyone's fitness journey is different. We've all seen those posts that claim, lose 10 pounds in 10 days, or, get ripped abs in just 4 weeks. And you know what? It's total nonsense. Real fitness doesn't work that way. Real fitness takes time, patience, and dedication. And when we fall for these quick fixes, we're setting ourselves up for disappointment and frustration. The same thing happens with fitness trends. Remember when yoga was all the rage, and everyone was doing it? Or what about when CrossFit became the new cool? The problem is that these trends often forget about the fundamentals of fitness. They forget about proper form, proper nutrition, and proper recovery. And when we follow these trends without understanding the basics, we're setting ourselves up for injury or burnout. Another problem is that the fitness industry is often driven by profit rather than science. Supplements, gym memberships, and fitness programs are all marketed to make a quick buck. And when we fall for these gimmicks, we're wasting our money and our time. But it's not all doom and gloom. There are some amazing fitness professionals out there who are dedicated to helping people achieve their fitness goals. The problem is that they often get drowned out by the noise of misinformation. So, what are some specific fitness mistakes that we need to avoid? Well, one of the biggest mistakes is improper exercise form. When we're doing exercises with bad form, we're not only ineffective, we're also risking injury. Take the squat, for example. If you're not engaging your glutes and keeping your back straight, you're not doing the squat correctly. And if you're doing it incorrectly, you're not targeting the right muscles, and you're putting unnecessary strain on your joints. Another mistake is neglecting nutrition. We've all heard the phrase, abs are made in the kitchen, but it's true. Nutrition is a huge part of fitness, and when we're not eating the right foods, we're not giving our bodies the fuel they need to perform. And then there's the myth of spot reduction. You know, the idea that you can lose fat in one specific area of your body. It's just not true. When we lose weight, we lose it all over our bodies, and there's no way to target one specific area. But what about overtraining? Are you one of those people who thinks that the more you train, the better you'll get? Well, it's not true. Overtraining can lead to injury, burnout, and even depression. And it's all because we're not giving our bodies the time they need to recover. Recovery is a crucial part of fitness, but it's often overlooked. We need to give our bodies time to rest, time to repair, and time to rebuild. And when we don't, we're sabotaging our progress. Another mistake is not setting realistic goals. We've all set goals that are too ambitious, only to get discouraged when we don't reach them. The key is to set small, achievable goals that build up to the big picture. And finally, there's the mistake of not being consistent. Consistency is key to fitness. It's not about doing 1 or 2 good workouts a week. It's about doing 4 or 5 good workouts a week. It's about making healthy choices every single day. So, what's the most common mistake that people tend to overlook? Well, in my opinion, it's not having a clear plan. We often start our fitness journeys without knowing what we're working towards. We might have a vague goal in mind, but we don't have a clear plan of action. And that's when we get frustrated because we're not seeing the results we want. But when we have a clear plan, we can start making progress. We can start seeing results, and we can start feeling motivated. So, let's recap the top fitness mistakes we discussed today. From misinformation to improper form, neglecting nutrition to the myth of spot reduction, overtraining to not setting realistic goals, and finally, not having a clear plan. These are all mistakes that can sabotage our fitness progress, but they're also mistakes that can be easily avoided. Informed choices are key to fitness. When we take the time to educate ourselves, when we take the time to listen to our bodies, and when we take the time to make healthy choices, we can start seeing real results. Thanks for watching, and I hope you learned something new today. If you have any fitness experiences or tips you'd like to share, please leave them in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and click on the bell for more health tips and updates.